This is an update on the swine flu that the media seems to be doing a blackout on. The original number of people that were sick when the flu first broke out was about 100 in the United States. Now in Illinois alone, there's over 600. Something's dramatically changing. As more and more people become infected, you'd think they would start covering on the news, but they're not. Later on, I'll show in this video that there's a lot of towns and small cities that they're not even talking about that are infected. I'm very curious as to why now that they're not covering this any longer on the news. Matter of fact, there is a media blackout on what's going on, and yet the flu is spreading. Here you'll see in New York the amount of cases have spread well over 200. Confirmed cases were originally was thought to be 75. They're definitely not containing this. There is no quarantine going on. We're not even being warned to wear masks at this point. But more and more people are getting sick. Florida's now at the state of emergency level, and the actual accurate numbers of how many people are actually dying of this versus how many people are dying of the common cold are probably still unknown at this point. If you look at the world map, you'll see the most people infected of this and dying are located between Mexico and America. The next place is Canada. So the whole North American continent is getting affected the hardest. Surprisingly enough, there's no cases in Africa or Russia. It seems now that almost every country has reported at least one case. I'll leave links on the right hand side to look at this same map. It's possible that these are not even close to the accurate number of people that are actually sick. I've been looking into this, and it's a lot more than I even think this map shows, but this is the most accurate update I can find so far. As you'll see in the next part, it's now even here in my hometown, which is very alarming because me living here, I'm actually witnessing what is happening now. Schools are starting to close down. Hospitals have been put on high alert, and there's a lot going on. I'm actually going to try and get a camera and start going out and taping some of the stuff that's going on in my hometown and post it on YouTube. But this has in no way died down, which is what people think. Matter of fact, this is spreading even faster and faster now. Within not even a month, it's skyrocketed to the amount of people that are infected. So I think people need to stay up to date on this and focus on where this is heading and what is going on with this. I fear by the beginning of fall, this will start to become a pandemic.
The number of swine flu cases continues to rise. Health leaders are now investigating several suspected cases in Monroe, Wayne, and Ontario counties.
We want to identify the cases if they truly are out there so that we can prevent the spread in the community, but we certainly don't want anybody to be hysterical.
Good evening. Well, there are growing concerns, of course, around the world tonight about swine flu. There are growing concerns here at home as well, with 8 suspected cases of swine flu in the Rochester area, 5 of those in Monroe County. As we hear from Rachel Barnhart tonight, health officials expect that number to grow.
Monroe County health officials suspect 5 people, all in their early 20s, of having swine flu. In order to qualify as a suspected case, you must have traveled to a place hit with swine flu within the last 7 days. You must have an acute respiratory illness, and you must have a fever.
If they are missing one of those, it is unlikely that their medical care provider will have a discussion with them about the possibility that they have swine flu.
The 5 cases were mild, and none had to be hospitalized. The health department has gotten dozens of calls from local residents and physicians.
It isn't just 1 or 2. It appears that by the numbers of calls that we've been receiving, there were many people that were in New York City last weekend.
That's why officials expect the number of local suspected cases to grow. Strong Memorial Hospital's infectious disease specialists are watching closely.
You might very well see this peter off as we get into the summer months, or it might continue to spread. I mean, that's just one of those things we don't know right now.
The most important thing for local officials is to make sure the virus doesn't spread within the community.
What we want to make sure that we do is isolate those cases, have those individuals stay home so that we don't have person-to-person transmission in our community. If that were to start happening, that would alert us that we have a worsening situation here.
And And those 5 patients have been told to stay home until they recover. Some have almost recovered. And health officials say if you suspect you have been exposed to swine flu, to call ahead to your health care provider so they can take some extra precautions.
My theory is those trains that people are seeing outside their cities now are for this. Perfect camouflage is to put them outside the city and say they're there because the economy is down. There's a lot of funny things going on. The fact that Obama is trying to put a ton of money into the rail system when there's no need for it, and
media is covering. President Obama is calling for a system of high-speed rail travel, saying it's going to relieve congestion and clean the air and save on energy.
The rail yards are pretty much dead. There's nothing really going on. It doesn't make any sense. Talking to a friend of mine in Germany, he said the same thing happened in 1930s, that their economy was at a standstill, but they started building up their train yards and their rail yards first. It's a slow and steady plan. They didn't just put all the Jews and a bunch of trains in 1939 and have it end up like that. It was a slow and steady process the way they did it. Talking with men and women in Germany, now seeing what's happening in America and watching the videos I post, they're saying that it's the exact same thing that happened there. They're telling me this. For instance, you can go to one person on YouTube now. His name is Sicken7 or 67. You can contact him and ask him. He'll tell you the same thing. He's in Germany right now. He'll tell you there's too many connections now going on with what's happening here and what happened there. People, you better wake up and stop attacking the people out here trying to help and spread information, and start helping them before you regret it. Because I don't know how much time we have left, but I really don't think we have a lot.